And welcome to the Box Score, brought to you by Blackwell Realty and the Josh Kirby team. Murphy Fair, the regular season is just about gone. 75% of the games I counted up the other day have already been played. We've only got 3 weeks left.
Well, 3 counting this week, that's right. And it's just flown by as it always does. But in so many cases, all across the state, all classifications, for the most part, we're still waiting to see who's going to wind up the regular season #1 in their league.
Murphy, we had a Huff and Puff trucking game of the week, Harpeth at Watertown, and wasn't much of a contest. Watertown blows out to a 35-0 lead after 1 quarter, and the Indians were just left in the wake, dominated by the stats, the KFC, Taco Bell of Gordonsville and Smithville stats. And when you look down through there, Murphy, you can just tell that Watertown had a big night. And I think Gavin Webster and his staff is to be commended, because a lot of times, Murphy, when you get a game maybe that you're favored in or more talented than, you don't always come out focused, but it looks like they were and run out to that big lead.
No, a long-time Harpeth coach Doug Loop is, like I said, been at the helm of that program for a long time. But the last couple of years, numbers had gotten dangerously low as far as even fielding a football team. They were up considerably for the 2021 season, but still just not anywhere they used to be when Marshall Winkler was at the controls of that program several years ago.
Of course, Smith County used to play Harpeth back a few years ago. Well, now several years ago. 378 yards to 96, and it was much more one-sided than that in that first half as Watertown gets another victory. Let's go ahead and look at some individual numbers. As we said, Watertown up 35-0 after the end of the first quarter. DeAndre Wright, 8 rushes for 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. Braden Cousineau, 58 yards passing, 35 yards rushing, accounts for 3 touchdowns. Adam Cooper, 7 for 72, and also 1 reception for 50 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Brett Price, he was 6 for 8 in a backup quarterback role for 73 yards. Also had 4 rushes for 22 yards. I'm sure the young ones, and as they used to say, the young ones was right up next to those assistant coaches, because they had to be flooding the field with substitutes.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play, as the song says. There's a lot of people on the board right there who average 10 or more yards every time they touch the ball. That's a pretty strong indication of how well balanced the Watertown attack was.
Let's go ahead and look. A great game in Hartsville in that Tennessee Titans game of the week. Trousdale County ran out to a 28-10 lead. Gordonsville got a couple late touchdowns, including an onside kick there to score with less than a minute to go. But Trousdale County gets the win. Bryson Claiborne, as he did against Smith County, big against Gordonsville as well. 15 rushes, 161 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's just got a gear that it seems nobody else on the field has, Murph.
There's an old saying, regardless of the sport, speed kills, and Trousdale County's speed certainly was the difference in that ball game. I was there for the first 2 quarters, and if any of those ball carriers for the Yellow Jackets got to the corner, it was over. They were off to the races, so to speak.
Of course, Cole Gregory, the kind of bruising fullback kind of guy, 19 rushes, 97 yards. Brian Banks, 8 rushes for 60 yards. You know, Trousdale County continues to, week after week after week, have a non-existent passing game, Murphy, but they're good enough they can run it and run it and run it. And you even saw that, Murph, on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 12. They ran the football.
Speed and the wing tee offense, trademarks, if you will, of Trousdale County football for 3 generations now. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
Matthew Albritton, a big game for Gordonsville, 18 of 30, 239 yards, also 18 rushes for 27 yards. Kanan Musgrove, 5 rushes, 15 yards, 6 receptions for 75 yards, and Landon Baker, 5 receptions for 94.
One thing the numbers on the screen don't indicate is 2 or 3 turnovers, too, in the first half that really hurt the Tigers. Any momentum that they were trying to build just vanished when they turned the ball over.
Of course, Trousdale County, a bad snap led directly to a Gordonsville score as well. Let's go ahead and look at the Tennessee Heat at Cannon County. It was all lines. They won at 54-6, 335 rushing yards. Ryan Perkins, 16 rushes for 179 yards, 4 touchdowns. Harrison Carr, 3 for 6, 47 passing yards, a TD. Brandon Smithson, 7 tackles. The Heat was frozen in Woodbury.
And not much competition, but that's kind of the way you want it for homecoming, and certainly those guys and gals that go to school at Cannon County, certainly had a memorable homecoming with a very one-sided victory on the football field.
DeKalb County, surprisingly, Murphy beats Warren County 28-0. Of course, that's a game that was rescheduled from COVID back on August the 20th. And, you know, I think Coach Trapp has got his team playing as well as they have all season. Kobe Barnes, 14 rushes, 134 yards, 3 touchdowns. Isaac Knowles, 8 rushes for 100 yards, throw in 3 receptions for 39 yards and sold 4 bags of popcorn. Brias Trapp, 5 for 8, 53 yards. Also, 17 rushing yards. When you look at that, Murphy, I thought that game, you and I both thought that would be a closer ball game.
Yeah, I think if that game had indeed been the first game of the season, as it was originally scheduled, the outcome might not have been in favor of DeKalb County, but they've gotten better as the season's gone along, and Warren County seems to have gone the other direction. But that's a huge momentum builder for Steve Trapp and the rest of his Tiger football team. He couldn't have come at a better time.
We've got a special segment, 3-time state champion Sophie Linder, a junior at Gordonsville High School. She just won her 3rd consecutive one as a freshman, sophomore, and a junior. And this year, she sets a record all time for individual state champion, the lowest score ever recorded in state championship history. Murphy, that's a pretty big feather in your cap right there.
That's pretty incredible. And I know the folks in Oxford, Mississippi are very anxious for her senior year to get over, for her to start swinging the club for the Lady Rebels down in Oxford. Congratulations, a great family. And I've been hearing a lot about this young lady for the last 2 or 3 years. And she's obviously very, very special when it comes to the game of golf.
Very hard-working young lady. 2021 Tennessee Women's Open champion. She was the Tennessee Junior Amateur champion this year, and she's also a member of the 2021 Junior Ryder Cup team.
That's
Murphy, when
incredible.
you look, she's in the top 5 or 6 in her age group nationwide.
That's amazing.
So that tells you a little bit about Sophie Linder. And our student partners with Tiger TV at Gordonsville High School recently spoke with Sophie after her performance last week, and here's that interview.
Hi, I'm Kaylee Hawthorne here with Tiger TV from Gordonsville High School, and I'm here with 3-time state champion and Tigerette golfer Sophie Linder. Sophie, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Sophie Linder, and I'm a junior here at Gordonsville High School.
You've beaten the competition every year as a freshman, a sophomore, and now a junior. What do you think you have to do to win as a senior?
Yeah, I know who the competition is, so I know what I'm up against, but I just need to keep that same plan as I've had the last 3 years because it seemed to work out pretty good for me.
In July, you competed in Tennessee Women's Open and Tennessee Girls Junior Amateur back-to-back tournaments. In Women's Open, you competed against not just amateur but professional golfers. How did you feel to outcompete these players?
Yeah, that week was supposed to be my off week, so I wasn't even going to play in that tournament, but I had a big tournament coming up the next week, so I decided, why not play in it? It's close to home. We get cards, we get the ride. It's just practice. I get there and I'm like, there's pros. I played in it before, so I knew the competition. But then, I won. I was like, not expected to win that at all, but it was probably one of the biggest accomplishments I've had, and that to win that tournament was an awesome achievement.
What do you believe is the biggest reason for your success?
Yeah, probably my dad. He got me out started. We lived on a little golf course out in Riddleton, Tennessee, and he would take me out there and I'd just hit balls. And, he thought, oh, she's actually kind of good at this, such a young age. But he has pushed me to become the golfer I am today. And not mentally and physically, he's probably made me into the person I am in my golf game.
You have already committed to playing for Mississippi when you graduate from Gordonsville High School in 2023. What made you continue with Ole Miss?
Yeah, it's always been a dream of mine to play college golf, and went through the whole process. And after my visit to Ole Miss, I knew that's where I wanted to call home.
What's the longest drive you've ever hit?
My longest drive has been about 260.
Have you ever hit a hole-in-one?
Yes, I've had 2 hole-in-ones. My first one was when I was 13, and my second was the next year when I was 14.
What clubs do you use?
I use a mixture of Callaway and Titleist clubs.
Do you have any superstitions?
Yeah, before every round, I always mark my golf ball the same way with 3 pink dots. It has to be that.
Name one non-golfer you'd like to play with.
So the boys at my high school think that they can beat me, so they've always just say, let's go out and play golf. So I took 2 of them the other day, and they did not. But they're always fun to play with, so I'd say to some of these people here at school.
What's your favorite course to play and why?
Yeah, so there's an annual tournament called the Dyer Invitational up in Carmel, Indiana, and the golf course is the Crooked Stick Golf Club. and they've had major Ryder Cups there, Curtis Cups and all this, and it's probably one of the toughest golf courses I've played, but also one of the most fun and challenging.
If you weren't playing golf, what sport would you play? Would you be any good?
I played basketball from kindergarten to about 6th grade, and if it wasn't for golf and time-wise, I would still be playing basketball because I always thought it was so much fun.
What's one of the favorite things you've accomplished so far?
Yeah, so this year I made the Junior Ryder Cup team, which consists of 6 girls from the country, and it's probably, I worked all year just to make, like in tournaments, just to make this team, so it's probably been the biggest highlight and probably will be the biggest highlight of my junior golf career.
What is your ultimate goal in golf?
So I hope to continue on to Ole Miss and play all 4 years there at college, and then after that I hope to continue on professionally.
How does it feel to have the support from Gordonsville High School in your community?
Yeah, so Gordonsville High School and the community of Gordonsville have the most supportive people you will ever meet. My sophomore math teacher, Coach Leslie, drove up there 3 hours just to watch me play the last day. And after the tournament was over, my mom was getting flooded with texts from people from the community, and I was getting texts from my classmates here. So I feel like they play a major role in my success.
Thanks for joining us, Sophie, and we wish you good luck on your golfing career, and we plan to see you again next year after you've won your 4th straight title.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
We'll take a look at the region scores and standings when we return to the box score, brought to you by Blackwell Realty and the Josh Kirby team.
There's no shortage of real estate companies out there, but there's only one Blackwell Realty and Auction. The Kirby team with Blackwell Realty and Auction has the knowledge and the experience necessary to help you. They understand that real estate sales happen because of the hours of work they put into every sale, whether representing you as the buyer, the seller, or both. Get started today the Kirby way. The Kirby team with Blackwell Realty and Auction. Call them today or visit blackwellrealtyandauction.com.
At DTC, we're proud to provide the communication and entertainment services you need to get the most from today's technology.
For a limited time, get 1 month free when you add or upgrade internet with us. Fly at the speed the internet intended you to.
Get the technology you want, backed by local customer service from neighbors you know and trust. DTC Communications, your total communications provider.
Near Star Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville is hiring. We have open positions for master maintenance technicians, maintenance trainer, electricians, miners, mill operators, mill technicians, warehouse attendant, business analysts, mine supervisor, and other amazing opportunities. We offer competitive wages, excellent benefits, PTO, holiday pay, exceptional 401k, and much more. Make the most of your future and your career. Join the excellent team at Near Star Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville.
Powell & Metals Insurance, in business since 1894, provides knowledgeable and personal service to our clients. One call puts you in touch with a local agent who will help you shop from a variety of top companies. At Powell & Metals Insurance Agency, we work for you. Call today or visit us online anytime.
We are here to help you. Let us show you what customer service is all about. Give us a call today.
And welcome back to the box score. Terry Collins along with my good friend Murphy Fair, as the box score is brought to you by Blackwell Realty and the Josh Kirby team. Let's go ahead and dive into some scores, Murph. Sonic of Carthage scores for Region 4-1A in Week 8. Clay County a big win over Scott High School, 25-0. Cascade a win over Joe Burns, 22-14. And the Bulldogs, Red Bowling Springs with a big win over Caverna, Kentucky, 42-34. Looking at those standings, we know that Gordonsville and Clay County, Murph, on a collision course for that region championship. I think that's in Week 11.
Yeah, 2 weeks from this coming weekend, and ought to be a dandy. It was last year, and I think the year before also. It always comes down to that game to determine who's going to be playing at home that first and probably second round as well.
Region 4-2A, we've got look at that, of course, it's just standings. We've already talked about those scores with Watertown and Charleston County and Harpeth, which Harpeth played Watertown. But sitting on top there at 4-0 is Watertown. Charleston County a half game back at 3-0. East Robertson there 1-2. Westmoreland 1-2. Whites Creek 1-2. So all three of those teams will be battling for that third and fourth playoff spot, Murphy.
Westmoreland with a great chance to get into the playoffs, even at 1-6 overall. And it'll be interesting to see who that number one team is out of Region 3 2A. Probably Marion County, could be Tyner as well. But Westmoreland a much better football team, I think, than that 1-6 record indicates.
They have suffered a lot of one-score losses, for sure. They battled a lot of people close. Region 4 3A, Sonic of Carthage scores. Giles County over Columbia Central, 21-14. Grundy County over Whitwell, 12-10. A couple of close games there. Looking at the region standings, Giles County and Sequatchie in there at 2-0. Cannon County at 1-0. So, Cannon a good chance to make the playoffs. I think their game with Community is going to go a long way in determining if the Lions make it in.
It is huge because of Grundy getting that win. Even though it's not a regional win, we're kind of boiling down to who's got how many wins and losses overall, because there could very well be a three-way tie for third place, I think, in the region now.
Region 5 3A scores and standings. Looking at East Nashville, a big win over Maplewood, 41-0. Franklin Road Academy, 28-7 over Stratford. Smith County, a big win a big game, against Jackson County coming up on Friday night. Both these teams had a bye, should be a battle in Carthage, and we'll have it right here on the DTC 3 Game of the Week as Huff and Puff Trucking sponsors that. Murphy, that's a very important game because in all likelihood, whoever wins that game is going to have a good chance of hosting that first round playoffs.
Yeah, and Smith County, I think on paper anyway, certainly the favorite in that ball game, but the Owls certainly need some momentum for that regular season finale against East Nashville. East Nashville, a very, very good football team, evidenced by the previous score we just had up there of them beating Columbia, a very good higher ranked team and a higher classification team.
Let's go ahead and look at Cumberland County over Livingston. Livingston continues to struggle. Upman sitting on top there with 3-0 mark. Stone Memorial 2-1. Macon County 2-1. DeKalb County 2-1. Those are the four likely teams to make the playoffs. Cumberland County an outside chance. Livingston basically no chance to make the playoffs this year unless they maybe win 3 in a row here at the end of the season. But Murphy, that's kind of shaking out like we thought. The Bees of Upman under Adam Kane just continue to get it done week after week.
I've looked a little bit at Region 3 and who's going to represent that group in the postseason, and I'm telling you, Terry, I really like Upperman's chances of going 3, maybe even 4 rounds, and once you get that far, who knows what could happen. The Bees are in a pretty good place right now, I think.
Let's go ahead and look around the area at some scores. Lebanon, just a huge win over Mountain View at 35-0. Chuck Gentry breaks a 12 or 13-year losing streak to Mount Juliet, and the Blue Devils just came out and got a huge pass interception, return for a touchdown there late in the first half to go up 21-0. And got to give Chuck Gentry and his squad, I thought it'd be a close game, but in no way did I think Lebanon would shellac Mount Juliet, and that's what happened.
I think most Lebanon fans thought that Lebanon would win the ball game, but I don't think anybody thought it would be a 5-touchdown difference. That was quite a performance, and as you said, Chuck's learned from a bunch of the good ones. Jimmy Maynard in particular, not only at Smith County, but in Cookeville too. And Lebanon showed that they can field a good football team.
And he had about 120 out in the spring, this past spring.
That's absolutely
tremendous
amazing.
support. Pearl Cone, a big win over Marshall County, 37-15. Station Camp continues to roll over Wilson Central, 41-16. And Tullahoma, big win over Montgomery Central.
Looks like Tullahoma's going to win that region, and it looks like Pearl Cone's going to finish second on a 3-point win, Tullahoma over Pearl Cone about 3 weeks ago.
Let's go ahead and look at the games coming up as the Region 4 1A games. It's a narrow slate, and the reason being is a lot of teams have byes this late in the season.
110 to be exact.
Wow, out of that's a third of the game.
It was that way last week also. Right. Fall break is in high gear right now.
Grundy County at Clay County, and the open date Gordonsville, Joe Burns, and Red Warning Springs. Go ahead and look at the Region 4-2A schedule this week. Charleston County travels to Nashville to face off against Whites Creek, Westmoreland, East Robertson. I think Westmoreland, I know they've struggled, but I think they're the favorite in that ball game.
Probably so, even though it's a road game for the Eagles. I think they've got a chance to get a win, as you said, and a region win. That probably moves in, that could very well move them up to third place in those standings.
Region 4-3A, we've got Cannon County at Community, and we already talked in Unionville. That's going to be a big game for the Lions because, you know, if you win that ball game, yes, you keep number 2 alive, a chance to get to the second seed. But if you lose, in some scenarios, you could fall completely out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I think so. They but the lack of getting a win against Sequatchie early in the season really hurt. I know it has. If you look at TSSAA standings online, you look one time and Cannon had 2 wins. And the next time you look, they had 1. Then it was 2. Then it was 1. And different people were playing with the numbers. And but that is a non-existing game. They both had a COVID situation in that week, and consequently neither one of them gets a loss, but neither one gets a win either.
Giles County traveling down to Dunlap to take on Sequatchie County. Let's go ahead and look at the Region 5-3A. Of course, our Huff and Puff Trucking Game of the Week right here on DTC Sports over at Owl Stadium. Jackson County at Smith County, and open dates East Nashville, Maplewood, and Stratford. Looking at the Region 4A games, Upland at DeKalb County. That's going to be a huge game. If Upland wants to win the region, then they've got to get a win in Smithville on Friday night.
I might just have to journey east and take in that ball game. It's not far from my place to Smithville, and Upperman's certainly the favorite in that, but I know Steve Trapp will have his team very well prepared, and that game could wind up being a whole lot closer than a lot of people think.
Stone Memorial at Macon County. Murphy, you know, Stone Memorial has shown improvement this year.
They really have. They like to throw the football, as does Kyle Shoulders and the Macon County Tigers. That one will be, that may be a 10 o'clock finish game with as much aerial attack as both teams have.
Open dates in the region, Cumberland County and Livingston. Murphy, as we look toward the playoffs and things are getting, you know, kind of shuffled around, you know, this for a lot of teams is their next to last region game. So, right, you know, it could be 2 or 3 spots that you could go up or down depending if you win or you lose.
That's right, and it could be in or out too for a lot of teams.
That is true. We'll have an interview with Smith County Owl head coach Matt Dyer when we return here to the box score, presented to you by Blackwell Realty and the Josh Kirby team.
Catch coverage of high school football action on DTC Sports each week. Watch DTC3 every Friday night at 6:45 or online at dtc3.tv for football game night as DTC Sports presents the area's best games. Watch this week as the Smith County Owls host the Jackson County Blue Devils. Football game night all season long on DTC Sports.
The Smith County Drug Prevention Coalition encourages our teenagers to be the positive influence. Stand against the epidemic of opioid and stimulant usage by joining the Youth Coalition #TakeBackTeam. 6% of Smith County students reported misusing prescription drugs. The #TakeBackTeam challenges you to stand outside the stack. This project is funded under a grant contract with the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
2 delicious options, 2 convenient locations. So make the entire family happy with just one stop to KFC Taco Bell. Located at 501 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville and 105 East Broad Street in Smithville, we've got you covered at KFC Taco Bell, no matter the food craving. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead, get in the car and kick that hunger to the curb with a quick visit to KFC Taco Bell. Located in Gordonsville and Smithville. Stop by today.
Near Star Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville is hiring. We have open positions for master maintenance technicians, maintenance trainer, electricians, miners, mill operators, mill technicians, warehouse attendant, business analyst, mine supervisor, and other amazing opportunities. We offer competitive wages, excellent benefits, PTO, holiday pay, exceptional 401k, and much more. Make the most of your future and your career. Join the excellent team at Near Star Middle Tennessee Mines in Gordonsville.
And now we're going to have Smith County Owl head coach Matt Dyer. And for an interview, Murphy and I are going to kind of grill him out a little bit. He's always a great interview for us. Coach Dyer, I know you had an open week. What did the Owls focus on during that week of, I guess you'd say, rejuvenation?
Well, rejuvenation would be a good word for it. We was able to get, a little bit healthy. We was able to get some guys back into the thick of it where we could get our preparation going. But, for the most part during that week, we worked on ourselves. We kind of went back to some day one stuff, and we worked on some fundamental stuff, and, we just got better at what we do. That was sitting there just going through a lot of indie time or a lot of individual time on offense, defense. We refined some things and, some stuff that we kind of put on the back burner to fix. We got to those and we got to fix them, but, we worked on that blocking down. We worked on our reaches. We worked on our pin and pulls, and, we worked on just us. We worked on getting better and, working on our fundamentals and stuff, just working our reads and everything. And, I think we had a good week. Like I said, we was able to get a few guys healthy, kind of work some other guys in, some rotational guys, and, we was able to maybe play with some concepts that we want to implement, later in the season. But the biggest thing was we got a little bit healthier, and we just worked on us, and we got back to some fundamental stuff.
Matt, when this season began, there were 60 coaches across the state that were in a head coaching position for the very first time, or at least at a different location than where they may have been. So I consider all of those rookie head coaches, but out of all of them, I think you've probably been more mature and more prepared for that position than any of the other 59. But that's because you grew up the son of a coach, and you've almost been a coach from the time you could walk to some degree, don't you think?
Yeah, like I said, I kind of grew up around it. A lot of stories where, if I had to go with Dad to swap film or trade films, the days, even when I started coaching was the days before huddle, I remember me and a buddy of mine, Chad Watson, he's at Gallatin now as a head coach. When we first got into coaching, I believe 2009 was our first year, we were the peons. We were the pups on the staff. It was our job to, meet another coaching staff somewhere to pick up film. But as a kid, I remember being with Daddy, going and meeting coaches and, picking up film and stuff like that, and going with Daddy to practice either in the summer or something like that, whether he was at Sparta or, here at Smith County or Macon County, being a ball boy for him when I was in elementary school. So, I've grown up around it. And I'm just used to it, I guess. But, I've also had a lot of good coaches that I've worked under that are very successful, were successful, and still are successful, that I've been able to learn from, and then just who I played for, too. Being able to learn from Jimmy Maynard, Chuck Gentry, being able to learn from Paul Pitts at Trousdale, being able to learn from Mark Pemberton, Nathan Wilson. Just picking up everything here or there and just being able to apply it to one day if I ever got to be a head coach. And but that's where I'm at, just growing up around the game, growing up around coaches, I guess.
Matt, when you look, your win at Stratford put you in the playoffs, and this week a win against Jackson County could make sure that your Owl team hosts in that first round of the playoffs. I know that we holler big game, I guess, every week, but it truly is a big one for the Blue Devils and the Owls on Friday night in Carthage.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I'm glad you said that it's big for the Blue Devils as well for Jackson County, because, we've kind of reiterated that all week to our guys that, guys, Jackson County ain't going to come down here and lay down just because you got a black hat and that SC on your chest. They're playing for something too. Jackson County's been able to put themselves in a great position to where they can still place second in this region and they can host a playoff game. So, you know, they're playing for all the marbles this week too. And, you know, so are we. We've been able to take care of business in the region up to this point to where we have put ourselves in a great position to, at least with a victory Friday night, we can secure second place, secure a home playoff game. But, you know, it just goes back to us taking it 1 week at a time. If we take care of business this week, we put ourselves in another great position in 2 weeks to go up to East Nashville and compete with them for a region championship in week 10. And, you know, that's kind of been what we've strived for all year, is that if in week 10 we could handle business and put ourselves in a great position to compete for a region championship and then host several playoff games down here in the hole. But, you know, our guys have shown a lot of resiliency this year. They have faced a lot of adversity, probably more adversity I've ever had a team face since I've been a position coach, a coordinator, to, you know, just being a football coach. You know, before we played our first game, we had 5 guys, 5 starters out for the year. You know, we've still got 4 of those guys out. We're going to get 1 back Friday night, and it don't look like we're going to get those other 4 back anytime soon. So we don't have any reinforcements coming. So all year, I believe we've started at least 8 sophomores on defense or offense at one point. And at one time, we had 8 sophomores and 1 freshman on the defensive side of the ball. So, you know, this group, for them to achieve what they have, these group of guys and these coaches, the adversity we had, you know, it's a testament to, you know, their fortitude and, you know, them just being able to compete and execute at the level that they have. But, you know, yeah, we are definitely have put ourselves in a great position to compete against Coach Loftus and the Blue Devils this Friday night. And, you know, they're playing for something big too, so it should be a big game.
Matt, as a head coach, it's your responsibility to make sure those sophomores and even a freshman or 2 maybe play greater than they ever dreamed that they could. But when you started 8 sophomores for the first time, did you ever think you'd have a chance to maybe win the region or maybe at the very worst finish runner-up in this league?
Well, you know, the biggest thing, and I don't know if it just come from, you know, my dad or, you know, coaches I've either worked with or played for, just always instilling that, listen, no matter where you're lining up on the field, you've got to be, in your head, the best player or best coach out there. And, you know, I've coached against a lot of coaches. You know, I've coached against Kevin Creasy, who's won X amount of state titles at multiple levels. But at any time I was on the field across from him, you know, I thought, man, you know what? I'm the best coach in this state or in this stadium right now, and I've got something for him. But the biggest thing with that is just believing in our dudes and, you know, telling our dudes that, guys, every week, don't matter who you're lining up in front of, you need to believe that you're going to whip that cat in front of you. I don't care if it's Jackson County, East Nashville, Maplewood, or Gordonsville. It don't matter. You're going to whip that guy in front of you, but you got to believe that. And our guys have done a great job with that. You know, just going out on the field with a little bit of swagger and believing that they are the best players on the field, regardless of if they're a senior or sophomore or freshman. Because, you know, going back to just adversity and whatnot, we've only got 5 seniors on the team, but really only 2 have played meaningful snaps. You know, 2 of our guys that got injured that were seniors haven't played a down. Another one has missed time because of either quarantine or injury. We've only had 2 seniors, you know, strap it up for every single game. So not only we're sitting there playing young guys, but they've had to mature very, very quickly. But, you know, you have to answer your question. Shoot, at the beginning of the year, you know, that was our thing. It's like, we just got to compete in this region. If we can compete, we can put ourselves in a position that we can make the playoffs. And, you know, it's just icing on the cake, and it's a bonus that here we are 7 weeks in that we're actually competing for a region championship.
All right, Matt, I got to ask you a question, and I know you may not be comfortable in answering this, but you've got a sister, Alexa, that may or may not have an employment in Gainesboro, which is Jackson County. We need to know if Alexa's wearing blue and white or black and gold on Friday night.
Well, here's the good thing about her employment in Jackson County. She's not employed by the school board of Jackson County. It can really punish her or nothing, you know. But yeah, you know, I actually asked my niece that, Alexa's little girl, Jolie, about now, are you going to be cheering for the Jackson County Blue Devils or the Smith County Owls? And she said, Uncle Matt, I cheer for them Owls.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you got them one over. I know it's going to be a big game for you and your family and a big game for the Owls. And, you know, Friday night, we're going to have good fall weather. And I know people are going to be excited about Owl football come in your final home game, I guess, on Friday night. Best of luck, Matt.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Thank y'all very much for what y'all do.
We'll take a look at this week's upcoming game, including the Huff and Puff Trucking Game of the Week, which is Smith County and Jackson County over in Carthage on Friday night. And we'll have the Gurus matchups when we return to the box score, brought to you by Blackwell Realty and the Josh Kirby team.
There's no shortage of real estate companies out there, but there's only one Blackwell Realty and Auction. The Kirby team with Blackwell Realty and Auction has the knowledge and the experience necessary to help you. They understand that real estate sales happen because of the hours of work they put into every sale, whether representing you as the buyer, the seller, or both. Get started today the Kirby way. The Kirby team with Blackwell Realty and Auction. Call them today or visit blackwellrealtyandauction.com.
2 delicious options, 2 convenient locations. So make the entire family happy with just one stop to KFC Taco Bell. Located at 501 Gordonsville Highway in Gordonsville and 105 East Broad Street in Smithville, we've got you covered at KFC Taco Bell, no matter the food craving. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead, get in the car and kick that hunger to the curb with a quick visit to KFC Taco Bell. Located in Gordonsville and Smithville. Stop by today.
So, go check it out.
Deterring crime. It's the first job of a home security system from DTC Security.
For just $49.99, get a system with a touch keypad, 3 window or door sensors, motion detector, key fob, and standard installation.
Let us help protect your home.
So?
A lot of nice stuff and an alarm.
Don't delay. Call DTC Security now or visit us online.
Powell and Metals Insurance, in business since 1894, provides knowledgeable and personal service to our clients. One call puts you in touch with a local agent who will help you shop from a variety of top companies. At Powell and Metals Insurance Agency, we work for you. Call today or visit us online anytime.
We are here to help you. Let us show you what customer service is all about. Give us a call today.
The Smith County Drug Prevention Coalition encourages our teenagers to be the positive influence. Stand against the epidemic of opioid and stimulant usage by joining the Youth Coalition #TakeBackTeam. 6% of Smith County students reported misusing prescription drugs. The #TakeBackTeam challenges you to stand outside the stack. This project is funded under a grant contract with the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
And welcome back here to the box score, sponsored by Blackwell Realty and the Josh Kirby team. Murphy Fair is going to get his picking hat on here in a minute and going to let us know. But first, we're going to talk about our Huff and Puff Trucking Game of the Week, which is Jackson County and Smith County, 2 teams that have not faced a lot of each other, Murphy, as of late because they've been in different regions, but still an old rival that used to kindle some pretty good matchups.
Oh, absolutely. A border war, if you will. If you hit up toward Kempville and beyond,
Right.
you're in Jackson County. And ought to be interesting. I think that program has come a long, long ways. I don't think it's anywhere near where Smith County's football program is, but now when basketball season rolls around, it's another story, especially with Jim Brown up there.
They did play in basketball, ironically, not the girls because COVID it out, but they did the boys last year in Gainesboro. But looking at the series history, Smith County pretty one-sided. This is the 58th all-time meeting dating back to 1934. Smith County a 51-4 and advantage.
That's almost like winning 102% of the games.
It sure is. Smith County's won 13 straight, 29 of the last 30. Jackson County last won in 1995. In that year, Smith County only scored in one ball game the entire year, and that was against Jackson County. They lost it 28-26. Owls went 0-10 that year under Richard Anderson, and that was they had 9 other shutouts in that season.
That was almost 3 decades ago. It seems like it hadn't been quite that long.
Right,
but,
26 years ago. It doesn't seem like, but it is. They're in the region for the first time since 2008, and points per game, the series one-sided in favor of Smith County. But, you know, Murphy, in the offseason, you did not see this game as a possible region game because everybody thought that these regions would break different.
Sure. It's like Cannon County, and we were talking before the show, the fact that Smith County and Cannon County didn't even play each other this year, and that's always been a big game for both of those communities. They may have to wait to the playoffs until they get to face each other.
All right, Murph, we're going to let you start picking them here as we've got several games in order for him to, I guess, get his little black ball out and tell us who's going to win. Cannon County at Community.
Well, I'm going to have to go with Cannon County. They got the big win last week at homecoming against the Tennessee Heat. Hopefully that will be enough momentum to carry over. I'm sure Coach Matt Daniel will stress the importance of that game. You win and you're in the playoffs for sure. You lose and you may not.
Right. Upperman at DeKalb.
Well, like I said earlier, Upperman the easy favorite in that one, but they're so closely matched, I think, in several areas, and the fact that they're playing in Smithville, I know Coach Steve Trapp will encourage a large crowd at that ball game to keep it exciting from the opening kickoff until the final horn. But I'm going to have to go with, what the heck, I'll go with DeKalb.
Jackson County at Smith County.
Again, the one-sidedness of this rivalry, if you will, I think is so strong in favor of the Owls. There's too much riding on the line for Coach Matt Dyer not to have his team fully prepared. I'm going with the Owls.
Okay, let's go ahead around the area, look at Cookeville and Coffee County.
Well, that's a big one. Cookeville could miss the playoffs if they lose that one. I'm not even sure that they're going to be in if they beat Coffee County, but I know Coach Jimmy Maynard would certainly like to get a mark in the win column. They've been few and far between this year, but I'm going to go with Cookeville in that one.
Stone Memorial at Macon County.
I talked to Coach Shoulders earlier in the week about this game, and he really doesn't know a whole lot about Stone Memorial. He'd been having a hard time in getting in touch with their coach to swap some footage and that kind of thing. But I think playing in Lafayette, that'll be enough to push the Tigers into the win column.
A big one in Murfreesboro, Riverdale at Oakland.
Battle of the Borough, but it won't be much of a battle when Oakland hits the field. I've seen them play 3 times this year, twice in person and once on TV. That's just an incredible football team. I don't see a team in the state that can beat them. I'm not sure if an all-star team in the state could beat the Patriots this year.
Of course, everybody wanting to see Maryville and Oakland again in that semifinal.
Except Maryville.
Right. Blackman at Rockvale.
Well, this is a great opportunity for Coach Rick Rice at Rockvale. He told me before the season started that he had a chance to beat 2 or 3 teams within that region that nobody expected. And I think this may very well be one of those, and Rockvale probably will wind up being the 3rd place seed in that region. They beat Stewart's Creek a couple of weeks ago, and that pretty well put them in the playoffs. This will put them in a much better place if they top Blackman, and I think they will.
Shelbyville Eagles at Warren County, disappointing for a performance by the Pioneers last week.
Yeah, and Shelbyville's actually been playing a little bit better than a lot of people expected. This will be a very physical game, but I just don't see Warren County having enough ammunition right now to stay with Shelbyville.
And Giles County's Bobcats traveling down to the new turf at Dunlap and face off against Sequatchie County.
That's just what Sequatchie doesn't need. Give Giles County some artificial surface to run on because they've got plenty of speed on that team, and I think Giles County wins big in that one.
Well, we want to thank everybody for watching the box score, and it's been brought to you by Blackwell Realty and the Josh Kirby team.